One of the great things about the Nintendo Switch is that you can own the console and still have a ton of fun even if you don't buy a single game. If you'd have told me that when I was a broke teenager in the mid 2000s, I'd have grabbed you by the shirt and pleaded with you to show me the future. We're doing the impossible and ranking all the free-to-play games on the Nintendo Switch in order of the priority in which you should download them and give them a shot. From the simple pick up and plays to the all-consuming AAA goodness that we just can't wrap our heads around being free. These are currently all the free-to-play Nintendo Switch games available in the West, so let's find out which ones are worth your hard-earned free time. Before we do so, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You know what YouTube's like these days, so don't miss any of our excellent content. Starting out at the bottom, we have Coloring Book, which, let's face it, is possibly the least exciting prospect for a grown adult. We are sure this one will be a fun enough distraction for a younger audience, but the thought of using this application on the Nintendo Switch doesn't seem, well, convenient, considering it's almost impossible to stay within lines while coloring with your finger, sending my OCD into overdrive. Kitten Squad is a game sponsored by the animal charity PETA. It's made by Arcade Distillery, who's brought us classics such as Mecho Tales and Plague Road. Actually, I take that sarcasm back, Plague Road is pretty decent. Anyways, this free-to-play game has kittens versus robots in a bid to emancipate the captured sheep. It's a twin-stick shooter in a similar manner to The Binding of Isaac, except a bit crap. Also, proceeds from the DLC will go towards the charity, although depending on your stance with PETA and their reputation, that may or may not be a good thing. Color Zen is a relaxing, simple puzzle game that's free to start. Due to the finite nature of it, the free section will be over fairly quickly for you, so that's why it's so far down on this list. If the vast array of DLC levels were included, then we'd put it up much higher, but when your free-to-play section will last about 20 minutes, we need to put this one down lower, despite it being a simple but enjoyable puzzle game. Next we have the pinball game, Stern Pinball Arcade and Zaccaria Pinball, coming in here with a 1-2. Now, I'm not saying pinball is bad or a worse genre than anything else out there. In fact, I love pinball, and one of our kind viewers was unbelievably gracious enough to donate a copy of Stern Pinball Arcade to me, which is fantastic. But the problem is with these free pinball games is that they are highly gimped from the full release, giving you just a table or two to be happy with unless you want to purchase the rest. Sure, you can still have a good time playing this small amount of content, but you'll definitely want to pick up the rest of them if you want full enjoyment. Great games, but lacking in the true content that's behind the paywall. Breakers Dawn of Heroes is a simple action-adventure game with a story, not something many free-to-play games have. I have someone on my friends list who's literally played 360 hours of this game and plays it pretty much every day. Now that guy got his value out of the download, but for the rest of us, we may be looking for something more than a simple mobile-style action game, but who knows, you may want to give it a shot. Get Amped Mobile is one of the more recent additions to the free-to-play model, made by the same people as Dawn of the Breakers. This Nintendo Switch version of the popular mobile game may look incredibly old with its almost Dreamcast-like visuals, but it's sure to provide a nice distraction with its arena brawler gameplay, kind of like Power Stone 2, if I had to make a comparison. And no, it's not as good as Power Stone 2. Nothing is. Anyways, this promises a lot of variety in terms of characters and weapons, so it might be worth giving this a shot if you're into online competitive stuff. Onigiri is one of the few MMORPGs that's available on the Switch, and that must be an enticing prospect for fans of the genre, but just looking at it, however, you can see that really it lacks the quality of some of the bigger boys of the genre. Let's just say it's rough. Very, very rough. It lacks the optimization required for a fun MMO experience despite its potential. I'm sure a select audience may enjoy this one, but I think most Switch owners would be put off by the sub-PlayStation 2 graphics, sparse environments, interface and performance. Pokemon Quest was a game out of the blue, a spin-off of Pokemon made by Game Freak themselves. It was unleashed to the world out of nowhere. While it is 100% a different take on the Pokemon concept, there's no doubt that this was met with a little bit of confusion. Its oddly satisfying blocky style was appealing to me personally, but it lacked that bit of quality we expect from the franchise. Its weirdly hands-off gameplay, plus a progression system that often led to encouraging purchasing microtransactions didn't rub well. Still, it's worth a download to give a shot and play once in a while, especially if you like Pokemon. But there are definitely more enticing free-to-play prospects on the Switch. Galaxy variant is interesting in the fact that it was originally planned as a paid for game at $10, but at the last minute the developer pulled the release to rework it as a free to play model. That probably worried a fair amount of people, but those that played it thought that actually the model worked fairly decently. I think most people found the control scheme to be the biggest hurdle as to whether to persevere with it, rather than any cooldown timers that were introduced at the last minute. People complained that it was too stiff and linear in comparison to the well-liked original. Still, it's a solid game that's worth a shot, and who knows, you may end up coming out loving it for what it is rather than what it's not. Fallout Shelter is a good game, of that there's no doubt. With the Fallout franchise transformed into a micromanagement survival based building game, you have pretty much a winning formula. It's stuff we've seen before, but with the Fallout humor we all love. The problem I had with it was that it was a game that you're waiting around more than you're actually doing stuff. Long periods will go by while you wait for something to happen, or something you can idly click without thinking too much. It makes time go fast, but it doesn't provide a whole lot of excitement in the short term. Building up a huge bustling base will no doubt be highly rewarding, but the slow startup means there are better ways to spend your hard-earned free time. It may have taken almost 2 years, but finally the Nintendo Switch has its first free-to-play card game in Lightseekers. Despite the wealth of them out there on PC or on iOS, Lightseekers was the first to make it, and considering how robust its offerings are, despite it being a pretty new game on the block, Lightseekers is a very commendable effort, and one that card game fans will no doubt love. Obviously it's ahead of the curve with the Elder Scrolls Legends Switch version not out yet, nor any interest from Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. Lightseekers is pretty much your only option right now. Thankfully, it's a good one. If you're eyeing up Super Smash Bros. Ultimate but that $60 price tag is looking a bit too steep after still being skint from the holiday season, then Brawlhalla may be the free-to-play game for you. It's basically Smash Bros. But from Ubisoft, and more on the basic side of things. That doesn't stop it being fun, however, as you could spend hundreds of hours playing this game without spending a single penny, and still being very satisfied with the arena-based brawling. There are dozens of characters which can be unlocked just by grinding for gold, which shouldn't take too long. Just make sure you choose the characters you really want first. Paladins is an exciting proposition, a quality first-person shooter that's free. Yes, please. If you're into hero-based shooters like Overwatch, then Paladins is more than a commendable replacement. It offers very solid, put-together gameplay, good net connection, and interesting hero abilities that you're sure to settle into very quickly. I had played online shooters like Call of Duty before, but never something hero-based, and yet I was kicking ass and enjoying it right away, and it's unbelievable that I actually managed to pull myself away from it. One of our website editors, LJ, absolutely loves this game, and there's a reason he plays it almost every day. It's quality and it's free. Smite is not free to play quite just yet, but it will be after the beta has settled down for a full release this spring. I'm including it here because we know what it has to offer, and we know it's coming, and we know it's going to be free. James reviewed this one and he enjoyed the over-the-shoulder perspective, which is unusual for a MOBA. It plays very similarly to other MOBAs such as Arena of Valor, so if you're familiar with those kind of games, you'll fit right in. With tons of heroes and a bigger looking budget than some of its rivals, Smite will definitely be worth a download once Hi-Risk Studios hit that free-to-play button. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long. I am banned from playing Arena of Valor. No, not because I hacked the game or did something illegal. Nope, my wife banned me from playing it because I started to become highly addicted to this just one mo go type MOBA. The first week of release after my review saw me staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning, and although that may be laughable to some of you, as an adult with a full-time job, that just wasn't on. I'm not a student anymore. Anyways, this team-based online game is basically a copy of League of Legends, but that's fine because it's good and I enjoyed it far more than the mobile version thanks to the addition of physical controls. I haven't played it since, but I know it's being updated fairly regularly and still enjoys a healthy player base. This is as fun as it is competitive. I highly recommend you giving this a shot. It may not be for everyone, but I have no doubt that a massive chunk of you will think this is the best thing since sliced bread. Fortnite is the biggest game in the world right now and has been for well over a year. While fads of popular online games tend to wane after a few months, Fortnite has unprecedented longevity when it comes to ruling the world. Literally everyone knows about Fortnite, and for good reason. It provides fun, addictive gameplay as well as world building and updates like never seen before. Epic Games has supported this battle royale style game so well, and it's undeniable it's captured the imagination of everyone, from kids to grandpas around the world. It's fun, funky, and mostly unobtrusive in its monetization. Sure, you can buy one skin for a ridiculous $20, but purely in regards to enjoying the gameplay, you're sorted without spending a penny. Juan really enjoyed this one in his review, and I'm sure the majority of people watching this video have already downloaded it and play it regularly, so I don't really need to say any more about Fortnite. Before we get into our number one free-to-play game, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We produce so much Switch content you won't regret it. Here we go. I'm sure you could all see this one coming. For us here at Switchwatch, Warframe is the absolute king of free-to-play. Warframe is the kind of game you sell your soul to rather than give your cash. Featuring a AAA budget with modest monetization and excellent fluid gameplay, you need to look no further if you want to spend your free time and make it actually feel worth it. You feel like you're part of something with Warframe, and plenty of the Switchwatch crew are hooked on this. Sometimes we have to tell them to actually get on with the game they're supposed to be reviewing, rather than constantly playing Warframe non-stop. It's so good that in Juan's review he stated that it's the kind of game you want to buy microtransactions for, just to support Digital Extremes in their endeavours to support this enduring game. It's truly the best free-to-play game available on the Nintendo Switch. These are our ranked free-to-play games on the Nintendo Switch. Now, you may disagree with a few placings, and if you want to swap some around, that's fair enough, but we feel this is a solid ranking in terms of quality and what you'll get for value with your time. Let us know your favorite free-to-play game in the comments below and tell us what you think of this video. Don't be shy, we reply to just about everything as long as it's not written in Nepalese or something. But even then, we'd love to know what you 0.0005% of our audience think. I'm Jordan from Switchwatch, take care.